I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Knomo Cromwell, which I've been testing for the last 3 weeks. Let's dive in. So starting off with the materials, we have it's like a thermoplastic polyurethane, so TPU, 400D. It's kind of soft on the outside, but it's still pretty slick. I can bring it up a little bit closer to the lens there so you can see it. And it has this kind of like, it's almost like still a matte finish, even though it is a little bit shiny. So it does have a really sleek look to it. I mean, essentially this thing is kind of like a dry bag, though it's not submergible. So even though the material on the outside here will shed water, and it does shed water pretty well. I've gotten caught in a couple of like rougher weather conditions. This is not something where it's going to like replace an actual dry bag. So if that's what you're looking for, definitely look elsewhere. But if you're looking for something that's super weatherproof, then this is a really great option for that. So it's kind of simple on the outside. This is the gray with the black hardware and the black accents. So it's got a kind of like techie, like futuristic-y look to it while still being pretty basic. The only really branding on it is down at the bottom here. It's kind of like a slick patch that says Knomo on it. So overall, really simple on the outside. So I can kind of go over the hardware here. So all of the hardware and the zippers, from what I can tell, are unbranded, but they do feel really secure. So we've got a handful of buckles. I'll kind of flip this over here and go over this back harness system first. So we have buckles here, here, and then on the sides here as well. So with the sternum strap, this is on a rail system and it just slides up and down, and both of them slide super, super easily. So these are a nice granular adjustment. They stay in place pretty well as well, so I could just kind of set it and forget it. Unfortunately, there is no way to remove it, but for the most part, I never really felt like this was in the way, so I would just like leave it unbuckled and then, you know, just kind of ignore it. The one thing to note though is that all over this bag there are no strap keepers. So this hangs loose, these down here hang loose, these hang loose, you know, even these adjustments hang loose as well. So you can definitely kind of rig the system yourself and either buy separate strap keepers or make some with like Velcro straps or something like that if that's something that is like a deal breaker for you. I never felt like it was annoying. It just kind of impacts the aesthetics, I think, just because it is, you know, so sleek. And then say I set this down, look at all these straps around. So something to keep in mind. Looking at the bottom here, this is a hip belt. It's like a nice seat belt material. It's a little bit smoother than the sternum strap, which is, you can kind of see even just like the texture of them is a little bit different. So this was really comfortable to wear. I found I didn't totally need it. This bag here is like between 27 and 28 liters. It's not really clear exactly what the capacity is, but it is fairly large. So if you do really pack this out and want that extra stability, this is great for that. It's just like a big chunky buckle. And then if you don't want it, then you can remove it just with this Velcro strap on either side, and then it's out of your way. But for the most part, I'm not going to reattach them, but I had them just like really low profile against this pack. And then if I didn't feel like removing them, I would just tighten it all the way, or as much as I could, you know, against the back of the bag, and it would stay really flush to it. And this never really like bothered me. So I didn't feel like I had to take it off every time I didn't use it. The only thing was that the strap keepers then were very, very long, or the straps were very, very long. So without the strap keepers, there was no way to manage that. So easy solution, just take it off if you don't need it. And then here as well, oh, there are strap keepers here, so that's good. But this is a very, you know, simple adjustment. Very easy to adjust on the go, which contrary to what is currently happening to me. There we go. That's a better example. Very easy to, you know, just kind of adjust as needed. And then here there are reflective panels. You can kind of see right now that they're starting to work. So that's just a little bit of added security. And then this back panel here is like an elevated mesh. So it does add a little bit of breathability. I found this bag really comfortable to wear. So even when it was really packed out, I packed this for a couple of like weekend trips or overnight trips, and I like just really loaded it with everything that I needed. And I still felt like it was comfortable to carry. The straps are a little like on the thinner side, but they have enough padding to where they're still pretty comfortable. And then they've got, a little bit of a curve to them, nothing too crazy, but it does add a little bit of comfort as well. So then looking on the sides here, we have the buckles that actually keep it secured closed when the bag is rolled down, and then these D-rings here to, if you want to hook anything additional onto it. So overall, that's the outside of the pack, pretty basic. So going into the pockets here, we've got this front pocket. These are, a taped zipper with a little garage up here, and it slots in there like perfectly. So it does have like a little bit of a, extra welt there. So there's added weather protection in bad weather. So here is it's a pretty slim pocket because it stays really like low profile against the bag. So, in here I have like right now my phone, wallet, a notebook, and then I think I have headphones in here. Yeah, headphones in there as well. So I did notice that, if I put chunkier things in here, you could really start to see them if the bag was packed out. I would say for the most part, like phone and headphones were like really my best bet if I wanted to keep that sleek look. But with a roll top, the most annoying thing is that anything you want quick access to, you can't put in here. So I would put my wallet in here as well, and then just kind of deal with that like added bulk. You can kind of see how it like comes out here. So you can see like the actual outline of this pocket. And so that's essentially, how large it is on the inside there. So fairly simple. And kind of give you a look on the inside as well. Just really basic kind of dump pocket. So then going on to the inside, I'm going to show you everything in here as best as I can. So like I said, it's about 27 to 28 liter capacity. So you can fit a large amount of stuff in here. The biggest thing is, looking at it unrolled, like this is so much larger than if you were to roll it up this way. So you do have like a good amount of space to work with. If you wanted to pack this out as much as humanly possible and like only get, one roll in, then these buckles on the sides have that adjustment, and you can really pack it out as much as you want to. So you do have a lot of like extendability with this, which is really nice if that's something that you need. And then with this roll top, they have like stiff edges. So it's almost like it feels like a piece of like hard plastic that's in here, and you can kind of see it like bends and has structure. So it's like segmented. So there's two, like one on either side here, and then there's a break, and then there's two larger ones, and then another break, and then these ones are the same size as here. So it's kind of like looks like geometric almost, but it does add, a little bit of extra stability when you're actually doing the rolling. And then it kept this really nice and tight. So there have been a few like loose threads over the course of testing. So like up here, there's one. And then I got this bag for testing, and there was already one like right here, and I just kind of left it there. It never really got in my way. For the most part, it seems like just extra threads from like the stitching. It doesn't seem like anything's unraveling. Like even here, you can kind of see there's like a little bit of a thread, but nothing feels really intense. Like overall, it still feels like the bag is really well constructed, and it's not like unraveling on me. So looking to the inside, the biggest thing with this is that it is just a giant dark pit. So if you have any, like you can kind of see inside pretty well right now, but my house is not nearly as lit as this, current setup is. And even like in the office, if there's anything down way at the bottom, it's so hard to see. So a lot of the stuff that I own is, like I have like a black tech pouch, and the other day I like just couldn't find it. So I had to take everything out of it, out of the bag itself, just to be able to get to it. So something to keep in mind. I mean, it's kind of anything you're gonna face with a roll top that doesn't have any like external access pockets or quick access zippers or anything like that. You just kind of have to deal with it, right? So in here, kind of as an example, I have what I did when I was, you know, doing overnight trips and stuff like that. I was doing just a lot of pouches and packing cubes and stuff like that. So in here, there's a range of pouches that fit, and then you can see at the very bottom is that tech pouch, the aforementioned easy to lose tech pouch. And then from there, it's just kind of an open pit. So here you can see like that external pocket, kind of like the lining of it. So you can see it's not very thick. It just stays very flush. So, I mean, like I said, it's just pretty hard to find stuff. So on this back panel here is where it kind of like butts up with this mesh padding. This is where all of like the organization is. So this fits up to a 14-inch laptop. I have a 13-inch. So it fits nice and snug in there. No issues with it feeling, you know, like it was in danger or anything. I mean, this whole back panel, it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can roll this up a little bit on one side. So it's like, it goes down, and you can kind of see where it ends, like right there. And so this entire back panel organization area is essentially just like a false bottom. So everything that is in here is pretty safe, and it feels really like tight and low profile against the back. So that's really nice. It makes it feel a little less unwieldy. And then additionally, so we have, you know, that pocket there, and then this pocket does like lift. So for the sake of being able to see it better, I'm going to just pull it out there. And so this back pocket here is good for like a tablet, or I have, you know, my like Apple keyboard in here as well. That fit really nicely. And then in these pockets, you can kind of just have like an assortment of items. So here is great for a passport. And then there's 2 pen silos here. In here I have chapstick. And then here I never really use this pocket. It just kind of, it's a little bit too tiny for what I needed, but if I wanted to put chapstick in there and something else in here, I could. So it's fairly minimal in terms of organization, but it was just enough for what I needed. If I didn't have my passport in here, I could fit my mouse in here, so I could do my laptop, keyboard, and mouse all in this organizational system. So it was a fair amount of, it was a decent amount of organization for what I needed for daily use. The biggest thing is just getting to it, right? So if it's, you know, if this bag doesn't have anything in it, then it's so back heavy. And then when you set it down, it's just gonna sag completely at the bottom. So I found myself sometimes, like if I just needed to carry a couple of things, like if I had my laptop and my tech pouch and stuff in here, and I didn't really need anything else, then when you set it down, you can see it just kind of like sags up that way. And I found myself just like bringing things to fill the space just because I didn't want it to do that when I set it down, which is a little counterintuitive. I mean, rarely do you need like nothing, you know, if you have like a packable jacket or any additional accessories or anything like that, like you will eventually start to fill this up. But where I found that it really thrived was when I had, you know, packing cubes in there and I was doing some sort of a trip and I can really just shove it full and then roll this to whatever, you know, length I needed. So there you have it, the Knomo Cromwell. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.